Okay, welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the second episode of the Random Talk Podcast with BK, DrewBee, and MATTACK.
Hello.
We're going to be discussing video game music at long last. I know it's been a long time, but we're going to get this done. And welcome, boys. Glad to have you here. What's up?
Nothing much.
Hey.
Nothing much.
So, I don't want to go first. So,
I don't want to go first.
okay, Drew, it's your turn.
All right. Well, the first game that I want to talk about is Luigi's Mansion, since I recently beat it. So, yeah, I guess I'll just start talking about what I really.
How recently?
How recently, as in like, yesterday. I beat it yesterday, and it's August 3rd as of right now. So.
Now we're talking about the original, yes?
On the GameCube.
Oh,
GameCube. So. All right, I guess I'll just start talking about what I love about it, So I really like the dynamics and how the music changes from room to room. If you've completed the room, Luigi's whistling and he's all happy, and then he goes scared and he hums to himself. You can hear the quiver in his voice. I really like that. But, it's not until a little bit later in the game where you hear that. Firstly, you meet EGAD and the synths, the hip hop beats, the everything. That's all. Ooh, I really like it. I really like just anything like that in the game. When you're listening to it, you're grooving with it. You're grooving along with it. And EGAD, you can just tell how he is from the song. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean right there.
Yeah, you can definitely find his character just by the song. He's like a quirky little mad scientist, and, you can tell he's groovy just by the music, It's just a weird character. But,
I think my favorite...
Got tiny eyes.
My favorite, of his is the Training Room song.
yeah, I really like
It gives it that nice hip-hop kind of beat to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what else? I really also took note on the leitmotifs throughout, there's, you have the EGAD's theme where it plays almost everywhere that EGAD is, and then you have the mansion theme, which is all throughout the mansion. Whether you're in a cleared room or not, you're still gonna hear that doo 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 doo. Even in the ringtone of the Game Boy horror, you hear that, and it's just I don't know, it's just really welcoming. Not welcoming, it's just familiar, and it just helps I guess establish the atmosphere. So yeah, I really like the different genres of Luigi's Mansion. You have classical, you have jazz, you have hip hop, you have everything. It's jazzy. You have some boss fights I guess, what is it? Maurice? Or something like that? The baby.
Which one?
Yeah, I go. You hear?
Chauncey.
Chauncey, yeah. You have the bass in the background, the dong 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 dong. It's non-traditional bass, but it's still, it's still there. You can still tell the jazz elements of it. I just really like everything about it. It's so organic yet, tech
Forward.
Yeah, techie, I guess. So yeah, the training theme. Oh my gosh, just the different stages of it. You have the high pitched synths. You have the, you just have the I don't know. It's beautiful. And I don't know. You guys can talk about it.
Is going to be my ringtone for this October.
The training theme.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, you haven't really spoken too much about it, so I want to.
I know. I've just been listening.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what's there more to say?
I guess we just elaborate. What do you think Luigi's Mansion does? Because we've all played it, right? What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I just really like the way, like you said, that the song keeps playing no matter what room you're in. He's either whistling it if you're outside, then it's a little bit more heartbeat. Like it drops the huge. It's more just like the ding. It's like cool. Just any room that you're in, you're hearing that song, which is, I think, is like really interesting. And the music changes. Like whistling, it does make you feel welcome in the rooms that are lit up. It makes you feel safe compared to if you're out in a ghost-filled room. It's gonna sound a lot scarier. So I think that's really cool. Especially when all the power goes out, and then it's like, now it's
when the lights go out, that made me so mad because you literally walk 2 steps and then like 5 more ghosts appear.
Yep.
It gets on my nerves.
And the only thing you can do is run.
Exactly. There's no stopping the ghosts. I like when the ghosts are like humming along with it. They're like wah wah wah. And the little
if you're in a ghost-filled room, that's what they do.
The little jarring like metallic, kind of glassy sound of. While the ghosts are humming, you hear the.
Yes. Now I know what you're talking about. I like that.
Yeah. I really like that. But
it's pretty unsettling if you just got that sound without the ghosts.
This game, man.
I just like the sound design of the ghosts. They sound interesting. Like in Dark Moon and in Luigi's Mansion 3, I don't mind those games, but the ghosts, they have a more cartoonish sound.
Yeah.
And they almost sound like minions.
Like these guys, they actually seem like they were once alive, and they have their own kind of like personality to them that the other ones just can't beat.
Yeah, the original is just the atmosphere, everything about it. I haven't really played 2 or 3 that much. I haven't played 3 at all. I haven't seen anything about 3 because I intend to play it, but I just haven't.
It's okay.
But
that's good, though. Yeah, if you intend to play it, then don't look at it.
I'm saying like I don't really know the music from there, but I do know that
there's some good stuff.
I know.
I don't think so.
That's what I was about to say. Like I do know that the music probably isn't as good. They can't really match Luigi's Mansion, just the GameCube one. It has the atmosphere that nothing can compare to. Like I don't think Nintendo can get. Oh my gosh! I keep dropping things. That close to anything. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, if you go into Luigi's Mansion 3 wanting Luigi's Mansion 1, then you're going to be disappointed. Yep. But if you go into it as a sequel to Luigi's Mansion 2, then I think it's
so much better if you're looking at it that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's some there's some songs that don't really stick with me. A lot of the songs can't actually think off the top of my head, but for the time where it is, when you're actually playing it blends pretty well, I think.
I think my favorite part of the original was when you're talking to the portrait ghosts, that theme that plays. It's sort of it's unsettling, yet at the same time it's sort of welcoming, like you're talking to them but they're not trying to kill you yet.
It's like I don't know. It feels very. It's like a scary Mario song. Like that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It sounds like cartoony and fun and happy like Mario, but with a horror twist kind of thing.
Yeah, agreed. My first game is The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Okay.
And it is by far my favorite Zelda game. Spoiler alert for the video I'm going to be making in a month or 2. But without the atmosphere of that game, everything would be completely lost on it. The music, just the way you look at things, like when you're in a cave and you hear that Majora's theme, it's like, okay, I got chills.
Yeah.
And when you get into the clock tower, you see that Happy Mask Salesman, that creep, and that weird song of his just starts playing. Then he starts shaking you, like, ooh, okay. And then you get into Clock Town, nice and happy and a lovely song. You feel nice and relaxed, just nice and calm. And it's a nice, happy day. They're building the tower. The kids are playing. Then another day goes by. The next day goes by and that song picks up. The song picks up a little bit more, how do I want to say it? Urgent, a little bit more what is happening here. The mood is coming down. Why is this happening? Get to the third day. Everybody starts panicking. And then that music really kicks into high gear. But then, in the final hours, it is like doomsday. Like that song that's playing in the it's called The Final Hours.
Yeah, you have the clock tower going doo doo, and then it's just like organs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just organs, like one constant chord. You can
And I'll be honest, when I first played it, I was actually alive when it came out. You two young kids. It actually scared me.
Yeah?
I was probably 12, and it still scared me.
Yeah, I remember playing it like around that time. And,
It's a depressing game.
it's really hard to get into, especially when you're that young, because you just don't want to.
See, it's a lot of patience. It's a lot of, like, you have to wait around for things. You have to very carefully plan out what you're going to do. And a lot of kids don't have the patience for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't until I actually got into the story. Then, okay, fine, I'll do this, but then I can go do this, and then set the clock back.
Yeah.
Of course, my favorite side quest in that whole game is the Angela Cafe side quest.
Oh, the one where they get married.
Yes, and I know that's like cliche, but honestly, that has the best, absolutely the best theme of any Zelda game I've ever played. Like that side quest is just simply amazing.
Yeah.
But then, the one song that sticks out to me the most.
Astral Observatory. That's what he's gonna say.
No, actually no.
What?
No. This is a real weird one. And it's when the aliens attack the ranch.
Oh, okay. I don't know the song, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, that of all the songs in that game, that is my favorite one.
Okay.
It is just so unsettling. And like, okay, you have to hurry, but at the same time you have to be calculating. They're coming at the bottom from this way, and in the back. Oh crap, they're coming from the back.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Then you get to the moon, and a total shift. A giant tree in the middle of the moon and a happy field. Like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Then get back to fighting Majora.
Well, that's the scary thing, too.
Yeah, that's like super weird, but I think my favorite part of that boss fight is the second phase, when all it does is run around, like all psychotically, and then the music like speeds up, and it just makes you feel like the thing's insane.
Yeah.
So you guys have any
It
any
almost kind of reminds
thoughts?
me, that part reminds me of the Water Wraith from Pikmin 2. The how he's so intimidating, and then as soon as you get to his second phase, he just runs away. He tries to he runs frantically around because like there's nothing he can do anymore. So I think that's really cool.
I think my favorite song of Majora's Mask is the Astral Observatory. It's the one place in the game where it's like, it's still like, eerie, it's still, terrifying, yet it's kind of calming. It's like, I like the music. I mean, everybody's commenting that on like the YouTube videos and stuff with that song in it, or like just the OST, I guess. You see all those comments and it's just like calming yet unsettling.
Yeah, I think it's like beautifully scary kind of thing. Where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that old man kind of just seals the deal.
Yeah, I like the the choir ahs and stuff, like, reworked into, different pitches and shifts for like synthesizer. There's just a bunch of synth. That's all I'm saying is synth. I don't know.
So you like the synth stuff?
I think.
But it's like synth can be anything.
Well, yeah.
I guess it's just like a sound. I guess it's not a synth. It's just a sound that they play, a MIDI file. They reworked it.
I mean, that's all MIDI in those days.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. The Majora's Mask 3D remake, the 3DS remake. It has obviously better sounds, like in the soundtrack, but I don't know if it's as good as the original because I just don't think it hits that unsettling vibe because of the fact that it's higher quality. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the lower quality of the soundtrack makes it.
It's all like up to personal preference.
Yeah.
I actually think that you're correct in that because of the way it originally sounded, the remake just doesn't sound as good because it's not as like dirty.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
way to say
I mean, there's something about old games like that, like Luigi's Mansion included. Like it really ties in with the Luigi's Mansion because it's older and it's just like you can't really match that at all. You really unless you're using that with new graphics, which Nintendo wants to use. They don't want to use old models and stuff like that. They don't want to purposely make their game look like N64. So you can't really
in my personal opinion, the remake.
Yeah, a lot of people say that because there's just different mechanics in general. It's
I
just,
mean the one problem that I absolutely hate what they did. They changed all the boss fights because they were too hard. No, they weren't. Get good. You don't need a gigantic eyeball on every boss.
Yeah.
That just bothers me so much, but that's just because it's one of my favorite games, so I'm gonna get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, it's Matt's turn.
Anyway.
Oh, wait, no? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anyway.
So I think I am good for that. Okay, Matt, I think it's your turn.
Okay. So, when we were talking about two games, I already had one game in mind. I was like, okay, this game is the game that I have to say, and that's
never really played Celeste. Is it the one where you have double jumps?
I think it's an indie game. It came out.
Yeah, two jumps.
Yeah.
It's one and then a run.
2 years ago.
Yeah. This game's soundtrack, to me, I feel like is unmatched. The way that it constantly builds on itself. It starts off every level starts off kind of calm and then ends on a huge climactic, end to the level. And the same thing happens with the music, where it's it starts off pretty basic, and then as you go through the level, at different sections, it adds different instruments and adds different things to it. And I think it really it perfectly matches what is happening in the level. And emotionally too, with the story, it also connects like that. It's it sounds exactly how you would think it would sound on a story that is talking about anxiety and depression and just mental health overall. It's perfectly matches, you know what I mean? I don't know. I really like it. There's a part. What were you gonna say?
I said I have to say I have not played it before, so I really have to probably get into that.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's a.
Yeah, that's what I hear. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I think once again the soundtrack kind of works with that because as the character's overcoming her struggles, you're overcoming your struggles through the level and building upon it. The music helps you get through it.
That's pretty philosophical, man.
There's one level where you go. There's a mirror, right? So there's a temple and there's a mirror, and it's playing this mysterious, kind of dark, mysterious song throughout. And then as you go through the mirror, it reverses itself, so now it's playing backwards. And then if you reverse that, you get the original sound, as well as some whispering of the main character's thoughts and dialogues in her own mind.
Wow.
So it's it just really works. And then once you finally do overcome it and stuff like that, the music gets all, you know, inspirational, and you get filled like, with that music. You just hear it, it's like, wow, I gotta go now. You know, beat the game. It's really good.
Nice.
Every song suits its world. Every song suits its level, like perfectly. Like one's about like loneliness, then depression, and you know, fear, anxiety, just all of it. Each song builds upon itself and just really just captures it.
That's something I've been experiencing a lot this year.
I was listening to it. I just like searched it up on my phone and put some earbuds in. While you were talking, I was just listening to it. It sounds more, you know, old-fashioned. You know?
It's a retro game. It is, you know, the 16-bit style.
Yeah, like so it has that.
Yeah. So it's
It's
not
more
like a recent game,
ambient songs, right? It's like more.
It starts off really ambient, but then as you get through the level, it gets way more intense.
I think it's like
Like there's parts where like maybe it'll even take out some parts and add some more like just different instruments. Yeah. It's really, really cool. I know like you guys haven't played it, so it's not as easy to build upon.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about it because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean just.
It's a platformer, right?
Yeah, it's a platformer. It's not like a.
Is there like a puzzle platformer kind of like?
Kind of. It's like. It's not a traditional one where you go like left to right. You always go
No,
up.
you're going
'cause
up.
You climb
Yeah,
around.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I should say it's a platformer, but it's more just
The
vertical platformer. It's kind of similar to Super Meat Boy.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. It's got just like, and how like there is like individual like themes as well, like depending on who's talking and what area you're in and stuff like that.
So it's adaptive.
Adaptive, yes, it's definitely.
I love adaptive soundtracks.
Yeah.
In fact, the next game I talk about is gonna be a lot of that.
Alright.
Yeah, I think I've seen someone play it, but I haven't really listened to the soundtrack that much. But from what I listened, like the 2 songs, I was like, okay, I can kind of see the vibe
Yeah.
of it, of the whole game.
The thing is, like, it's not even like really. I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it. It's not like songs that I legitimately
It's like
would
something
like
that you
to.
would- yeah.
Yeah, but it's the songs to the experience of the game that I think is unmatched. Like, I don't like to just go up and look up the Celeste music soundtrack, but when I'm playing it, it's like, okay, this is really good.
Right. So it's yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like I know it's one of the best, even though it's not particularly my favorite.
yeah, like you can't. But I think that it kind of works. Like if you, I don't know, if you have to play the game to listen to it, it just adds more depth to the music.
And I mean, I have listened to the soundtrack,
Yeah.
you know, outside of the game.
Something to be said about the context.
Yes, it's the
When
context.
It doesn't work with you just listening to it, but it does when you're playing it. That is actually a good thing. A very good sound design.
Yeah, it sounds from the songs that I listen to, kind of like airy and like chilly, almost like cold.
You're going up a snow mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that works.
It's almost got like a sense of like mysterious, like mystery,
Yeah.
but also depressing. It's like it's a lot of just like depressing music, but not depressing as in like, wow, this is actually making me sad, but just like, you know, the atmosphere and the vibe of it.
Yeah, slow, kind of, you know, it starts off slow, I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, airy. It's ambient, it's,
It lets you connect to your environment.
Yeah.
rooted.
Yeah, I'm pretty much good. Pretty much done.
Well, I
So
guess
you did great there. See, you don't need notes, Drew. We did just fine.
Yeah,
I wasn't really going off of my notes for like most of it. Even then, the stuff that I have written in my notes, I wasn't looking at it. I was just saying it off at the top of my head. I just want to have it there.
I'm just screwed with you. You know that.
Okay, so the next game that I have is Ep.2, and I haven't even played the game, but I love the soundtrack.
I'm gonna be really. I am really sorry, but I've had to go pee for so long.
I guess I could just ramble to myself.
I literally went pee like right before going on the call because I was like, I want to make sure that I don't have to go pee, but apparently my bladder just doesn't want to work with me right now.
It's all good,
Okay.
brother. That's all good. All right. So, Ep.2. It's a game that I haven't played, but I love the soundtrack. Like, I watched it, and it pretty much just sums up the game. Like, the game itself is very trippy and fever dreamish and, you know, psychedelic. And it's just, like, awesome. It's just a very unique experience, and you don't really play the game so much for the story, even though it's got a pretty decent story. It's more the visuals and the music. It's just, you know, it's, I guess it's a unique artistic experience, almost. It's just a showcase of, trips, such. It's like an RPG, though. So you follow a guy named Wayne. I'm just giving some, like, precursor to it, I guess. And what I really love about it is that it's, like, very ambient yet indie. It has, like, guitar riffs and, like, just, like, single note, like, I guess not thresholds. It just, like, stretches out a single note and, like, you know, like, it just resonates, I guess. Resonance of, like, single note stuff and, like, guitar riffs. Very
Okay.
Hey, welcome back.
very environmental stuff. It's just trippy, and, like, I use it for pre-stream stuff because it's not just, you know, airy and, like, ambient. There's also parts where it's, like, kind of grungy, like Nirvana almost, psychedelic Nirvana, because there's just, like, you know, hard guitar, and it's like in the final boss where you hear it. Oh,
I got more of a grunge vibe from it than anything else.
It's grungy, but it's indie as well. Like, there's.
Oh yeah, indie. Yeah, I guess indie is better.
There's parts where it's, like, more grunge than indie, but then there's parts where it's just indie, and it's like, you know, that's what I like about it. It's just more like the soundtrack is beautiful, and you can just sit there and listen to it.
I think it also does. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that like every time I listen to it, it gives me just scenes in my head that I can, like, create from the song and just use it. I don't know.
I was just gonna say, I think it also fits with the game. Like, the game is an indie game. It's very small. Like, not that many people know about it. I feel, at least in my opinion, I feel like it's relatively niche community.
And this is the first time I've heard about it.
Yeah. It's like the game is, like, small and indie. Oh, sorry. The game is small and indie, and just the music is, like, I feel like kind of fits that, and the art style fits, like.
Yeah. It's fever dreamish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I don't know. It's just more of a. That's what I was saying. It's more of an artistic experience, and, you know. It's just, it really does go well. Like, it very, very well goes well with what you're seeing on screen. Like, if it's sandy, it is more, I guess, beach rock. That's what I would describe it as. It's like beach rock, but with its own twist, because the game is just, like, you know, it's a very quirky game as well. And, like, you can sit there, close your eyes, and it takes you to a different world, like, with the music. I don't know. I discovered it, and I was like, this is a damn good soundtrack. This is a damn good soundtrack. And I was like, wow.
And a good game.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird to me, and I really like it. and I don't know.
If you don't know what you like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Just like it.
It just kind of puts
Some of the best things in the world, you have no idea why you like them. You just do.
Yeah. It's like
Hey,
chocolate covered pickles.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't like chocolate covered pickles. But yeah. I just It's kind of almost like Earthbound, just in the way it's like a modern Earthbound, just because it has so many new ideas and stuff, but at the same time it still fits the RPG genre. It's just an RPG. Like newer RPGs these days, they're always innovative in what they do, like most of them at least. When you have like long time series, of course they're gonna be kind of similar but like different stories. But yeah, it's like a very innovative game, and I don't think it's like groundbreaking or changing the game at all. I think it's good that it has its individuality and like its own I guess character.
Yeah, I like how it's
I'm trying to think of the word. Personality. It has its own personality. It's very it's unique.
The way you described that puts me in mind of Persona 5.
No, it's well.
It's
I guess
it's like not quite like what you were saying, but like the uniqueness of like the game in itself and how it like presents itself.
Yeah, exactly.
As a very unique experience.
It's just it's visual. It's more visual based, though, and like.
Yeah, it is. But you're talking to somebody that hears before they see.
You're right. Yeah, I would say it's kind of close to Persona, as in like, there's a lot of visual things, and it's just like, I'd say Persona's probably a better game. Just because it's longer, and it's it is a AAA title, pretty much.
Oh yeah, it is.
Hell yeah.
But just because it's longer doesn't mean it's better. I mean, if you have a better experience
length doesn't make a good game.
I don't really like. There's only a select few songs that I like in Persona 5 compared to. Well, I don't really go out of my way to listen to the soundtrack, but like the ones in Smash Ultimate, I'm like, eh. But like in Hylix, I'm like, ooh. I close my eyes and I'm just drifted off to like trippy visuals, and someone biting their nails in a bus stop, waiting for this like giant bus walking on all fours, having like limbs. I don't know. That's what I get from the soundtrack.
It sounds like a fever dream.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Hylix.
More like Bylix.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't do that.
Bylix.
All right. Well, BK.
All right. So it is my turn for my final game, and I chose Banjo-Kazooie. And the reason why I chose that is purely because Greg Kukoc is a genius when it comes to composing.
Oh yeah.
He you know that he scored a soundtrack. When you hear it, you just know. But there's no mistaking that style.
Yep.
And the best part about the game is not just the gameplay, but the fact that as you're moving around the levels, the music dynamically changes to fit wherever you are. So when you first get into a level, you got the main theme. If you walk over to, I think my favorite example of this is in the desert level of Goping Valley. You walk over to the Sphinx, and the entire mood shifts, but it's the exact same melody, the exact same song, but different instrumental arrangements.
Yeah.
You go underwater, you get that underwater bubble gloopy sound, but it's still the same song. And like it's so seamless. You wouldn't even know that the music is changing because it's just so fluid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they set it up to where I get you. Because it's kind of like Luigi's Mansion in that case. It's just adapted.
Have you guys played before?
I've heard it and I've seen some of it, and I do really like it.
I have never played Banjo-Kazooie.
No?
Nope.
Oh wow.
I've always kind of wanted to, but I've never actually done it. Like I've never done it.
Probably one of the next games I play then. I mean, it sounds interesting enough, and I have
It
nothing.
really is. It's one of the like the 90s when I grew up.
Yeah.
It was all about collectible platformers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were everywhere. And this one defined the N64 more than Mario 64 in many people's opinions.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because
I would say it's. I haven't heard a lot of the soundtrack, but the parts that I heard, yeah, it's very upbeat, and it's very, you can tell it's a very charismatic game when you can just hear how like different it is. It's just like you hear the banjo and the title theme, that and that's awesome. I like that.
and when you have a soundtrack that you can listen to like anywhere, no matter what you're doing, that's something they're doing right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no
I
no
can put
offense
it
to
on.
Celeste.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think anybody knows this, but I create little stories in my head. I like play around with little things in my mind every day. I'll put music on to supplement what I am imagining. This soundtrack I've used so many different ways and so many different times.
I've done the same sort of thing with Donkey Kong soundtrack, so I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my imagination runs all the time, and I do music to supplement what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, from the leaders, I don't think there's anything more to say about it.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about when I don't really know the soundtrack all too well.
Yeah, well, that was my problem the past few years, that no one knew what they're about.
Right. I just like the way that they, I don't know. But
Hey, I
You're
mean,
gonna
yeah,
actually
no.
play Hylics and be like, wow, this sucks.
Probably, but at least you got a dang good soundtrack and a dang good visual stuff. Anyway,
Visual stuff.
so are we moving
good way
on?
to put it.
We're moving on to Matt's final game.
Yep.
Okay. So with Celeste, I knew right away as soon as you said soundtracks, I was like, okay, Celeste. But for the other one, I was a little bit more, I didn't really know. I was between two games. I was between Animal Crossing and Splatoon. And I was like, alright. Finally, I was like, okay, I'm picking Splatoon.
I
Splatoon
knew
is the
it.
way it's going.
I was about to pick Splatoon.
Yeah, I just think that it's really interesting. I think all the music is pretty much good all around the board, and I've listened to them.
Are you talking
I
about
guess
Splatoon 1 or 2?
Splatoon 2. I guess
Splatoon 2?
2.
Octo
But
expansion or like the regular?
Everything. I mean, Octo Expansion is a DLC. Bring it in.
right.
Just keep
So
it all.
you're talking about
one
not
game.
only the online play, but the story mode and
And the
DLC.
Octo Expansion, yeah.
Okay.
The whole game.
All right. I mean, I can talk about that like hours upon hours.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's do it.
I think it's really, really cool. I think the music itself is good, and I've listened to Splatoon music by itself, like without playing the game. I just, But what?
I said exactly.
Yeah. It's just really good music all around. But I think the really interesting part for me, and this is the part that I picked it over Animal Crossing for, is the fact that there are bands in Splatoon. Like, there are certain music groups that have a certain style that produce the same sort of music. So it's like you can like a certain band, like Deadfish and stuff like that. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
and Callie Marie, the Squid Sisters, the Off the
Are
Hook.
they made
it's
up
like,
bands or are they real bands?
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
They're made up bands, but they are made
Well,
up.
they're in
Splatoon.
that world.
Yeah, they're in that world, but it's just like think it's really interesting how like the music that you're listening to isn't really like this omnipresent music that like would you find in Mario. It's a real band that they're probably listening to while they're fighting.
Right. They're just like listening to it in an earbud or something.
Yeah, and it's like maybe that can't be said for the same thing about Octo Expansion in the story mode, even though that those songs do come from the actual bands. Like if you look up the Octo Expansion music, you'll find that there are bands who made those as well. It's like that's what's really interesting to me. I think how and the like like you can find each person in the band. Like at least for some bands, like I think like they have like cover images and stuff like that. So it's like you know who's singing the song as well. It's really interesting. Yes. That was like I was gonna say like it was similar to like how KK does it, but I was like KK is one man, like he's one dog, so it's like this is like but yeah, I think it's just and how they have the squid beats, the what's it called, the rhythm game that you can play in the plaza as well. So that has a lot of hours of fun in it, or rage, I don't know, but
I would go with more rage.
yeah, but like just the fact that like they exist in the world and you can play it and listen to it.
I think, yeah, Splatoon really did build very good here, and they just built a world. Hello?
Hello.
Wow, my mic
died.
My mic is coming. I was just saying, and then I found out my mic wasn't working on Discord. That they just built like a whole soundscape. They built a world. They just built like a make-believe world with it. Yeah, like you were saying, and
Yeah,
I really like that. And I really like just there's just different genres, there's different everything. Specifically, I want to talk about Octo Expansion, and I really like Regret. I like track 8, Regret. The 8-ball missions, that song, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Everything about the Octo Expansion soundtrack is awesome. It's just very, very 90s, like a new take on the 90s almost. You know? Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was
Yeah.
I'll get there someday. I will definitely get there someday, but I got a back the size of my arm.
But yeah, like, just like, you can tell that a lot of love was put into Splatoon 2. And specifically. Like, Splatoon 1,
a lot of thought,
there,
a lot of care.
I don't know. Because it's just like, the battle music in Turf Wars.
It was there in Splatoon 1, definitely.
It's different. It's different than in Splatoon 2. I just feel like there's more variety in Splatoon 2. But then again, it's a more fleshed out franchise considering Splatoon 1 was just like,
They have a lot
That
of
was more of a, I think that was more of a Disney ground than anything else.
worked. It really worked. I remember Salmon Run, dude. You gotta think that music just works so well. Like that little mistakes can F you up in the long run, dude. You hear the doo. It's just like uh-oh. And you hear the sirens, you hear everything. You know it's a zombie mode, but Nintendo-fied. And they really just nailed that genre of music. Like, you can tell that it's just it's got that C spin to it. It's just got that environmental, more I guess country folk-ish action, like it's like action folk music. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's
It's good.
Action folk. I've
I don't
never
know,
heard
it's like-
that before. It sounds so interesting.
Yeah, it just
It is.
It's
It's
good.
alright. Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah,
That's it?
It is.
That's alright.
It is.
No, I don't know what else to say. It's interesting. This music in Salmon Run seems like is made by W3 is the in-game billing for it. I might be saying it wrong because it's like a weird character. You know, like even that. That's
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like construction.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we're over 45 minutes. We could, do you want to call it quits?
Okay. I'm gonna throw you guys through a loop here.
Oh,
Runner up. Give me runner up. We don't have to talk about
For
it.
music?
Just runner up.
Okay,
Yep.
well, I know there's so many. Probably Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. That, if we're going to talk about if we're going to do this again, I'm going to talk about Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door.
Oh my gosh, I never. Yeah, that is amazing.
Dibs.
Yeah. Now for my runner up, it's probably going to be Mario RPG.
like the first one.
Yeah, the very, very first one. It was the first RPG I ever played, and I had no idea what I was doing. But I got sucked into. I'm like, why am I standing here and they're hitting me? I don't understand this.
Turn base.
Yeah.
But the music it caught me at first because the opening theme song just hit me like a sack of bricks.
I've been
It's so
hit with
good.
sack of bricks before, and that's not fun. So I'm imagining the soundtrack's actually pretty bad.
Really?
No.
I never beat the first Paper Mario, Mario RPG, but I got really far into it and I just gave up. Like I got like 3/4 of the way through. I always wish I beat it, but I really like the soundtrack.
Okay, here's Animal Crossing.
I was gonna say Animal Crossing, but you know I think I might throw another curveball. I might just go with Pikmin. Pikmin 2.
Oh!
Pikmin 2.
I mean, I was wondering when that was going to come up because you're Matt, so.
I know. I when I was talking about it with Drew last night, I was like, I can't do Pikmin because that's just too easy. But it really is good. I mean, I really do enjoy it. I just didn't want to put it in this presentation.
Now I totally understand. Okay, folks. Thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, you're amazing. We will maybe do this again if everybody's receptive to it. And thank you again for watching, listening, whatever you're doing, and have a good morning, day, night. Bye-bye. Thanks for that. No, you better not.
Good morning, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Alrighty.